They called me Shoreman the board man. I'm a paddle coach with Paddle Canada. I teach stand-up paddleboarding in front of the Toronto skyline. I taught beginners on the water, often nervous at first, a lot of I don't think I cans, a lot of I'm not sures. But eventually those no's turned into yeses. At the end of my lessons, I lined my students up on their boards. With their backs to the city, I was ready to capture their moment. With the sun setting and the planes landing just behind them, I'd say, paddles up. This moment celebrated their power, their confidence, and was theirs. But it was also mine. You see, I built my own Atlantis on our waterfront. I became Aquaman. I take great pride in building others up, in sharing my passion, in keeping people safe out there, being on the waters where I feel most confident, most alive. And then it hit. The biggest wave. I didn't see it coming. 8 months ago, today, as a 35-year-old, my chickenpox virus from when I was a kid reactivated in my ear. When shingles attacks your eyes, your ears, it's called Ramsay Hunt Syndrome. It's rare. In a very short period of time, 5 days, my life altered. A medical misdiagnosis, a missed 72-hour window for treatment, caused damage to my 5th, 7th, and 8th cranial nerve, facial paralysis, vertigo, dizziness, speech and vision problems, permanent hearing damage, pain said to be worse than the shattering of kneecaps. But the scariest of all, I lost my sense of balance. I've been in vestibular rehab therapy, retraining my brain ways to walk normally ever since. On April the 2nd of this year, I sat in a specialist's office. With tears streaming down my face, I was told, this is going to be devastating considering what you do. Your paddleboarding no longer a reality. The tsunami that hit me from behind 5 months earlier and now taking me down. As this was being said, I could feel the oxygen leaving my lungs, the water now filling them, the pressure of this crushing me. I couldn't breathe. I was drowning. I closed my business. The lights faded. The color of my eyes went from blue to gray. It's not a reality. I'm now the unbalanced paddleboarder. My mental health deteriorated very quickly. In the mirror for months, I saw a monster. I didn't want to be seen in public. I didn't want to run into people at the supermarket. And just 2 days after that appointment, I'd find myself entering a mental health treatment facility. I needed help processing everything. Sitting at home a short time later, an email came through from the Canadian Safe Boating Council asking me to be their water safety expert for their media day. A year earlier, I'd done water safety demonstrations for a line of press as long as this stage. The lights came on, the color of my eyes, gray to blue. I had to reach for this lifeline and say yes. I called my friends in the paddling community and I said, please come help me. And they said, yes, of course. A day of exhaustion. It was awesome. And then my friends asked me to test the waters, get on a board for the first time. Only months earlier, I'd been forced to switch from showering to sitting in a bathtub with the door open. Bathing in a swimsuit in case someone needs to rescue you is scary. To spin out as if on a carousel of terror while simply leaning back to rinse your hair, only to come up and vomit all over yourself is traumatic. To know that you now have to have another bath and do that all over again is horrific. That day I said yes for the 3rd time. I lasted 3 nervous minutes sitting down on the board that day. And let me tell you, as a 35-year-old guy who has needs, it was the most satisfying 3 minutes I've had in the last year. I've been paddleboarding several times since that day. I've even stood up for short periods. The tsunamis in our lives that take us down all look very different. When facing rough waters, we have 2 options, sink or swim. Saying yes again brought me back up to the surface. When we say yes to ourselves one time, yeah, just once, it makes it easier for us to say yes to ourselves the next time. 2 yeses became 3, and 3 became 5, and before I knew it, I'd stopped saying no to myself. Things may look different when we get back up to the surface, but as you gradually start saying yes to yourselves more and more, you will feel that crushing pressure go away. The water now rushing out, the oxygen filling your lungs again, and you will breathe. You're still you. Paddles up.